Right, so this is GXTV launching our On the Mat series. I'm very pleased to announce that George Reid is our first On the Mat presenter, and the subject for today is pre-shot routine. So George, take us through your pre-shot routine.
Yeah, thank you, Jim. Thank you for having me on the channel. Firstly, pre-shot routine is something that can be overlooked, something that you can sort of forget about, that you sort of miss and don't really go through the right steps, and as a consequence you get wasted bowls, which in big games you can't be. So always try and start, when you come back to the mat, you've got your shot in mind. First of all, you know what you're playing. Don't stand on the mat undecisive. If you're in two minds, you've got to make your mind up and commit to that bowl. Otherwise, inevitably, you will get a wasted bowl as a result. So once you've got your shot in mind, you look at your line, you get on the mat. For me, you're deciding your hand first and foremost, obviously, as part of the shot, the pace you want to play the shot with, if it's a draw, if it's a yard, if it's more than that, a timing bowl, if it's a fire. And then, take in, for me, line, I'm looking normally where my breaking point is. That differs with the pace you play the shot with. So we're on the end rink here. I'm picking a patch up the green. It's about where my breaking point's going to be. I'm playing sort of just an overdraw. Forehand, look at it, commit to it, and bowl it.
That's good, George. Any other tips?
Yeah, obviously it's never a one bowl game. If your first bowl doesn't go as planned, make sure you learn from it. You are still on the mat at that point. Download that information that bowl's given you. If it kicks out, if it bends quicker, learn from it, adjust, and then use that going forwards for your next bowl. And again, I can never emphasise this point enough. Just always really commit to that shot you're playing.
Thanks, George. The other thing I was told is, obviously, if you're playing, depending whether you're playing rinks or triples or singles with forwards, is to concentrate between each wood.
Yeah.
Don't get distracted.
Oh, for sure. I'm as guilty as the next person when it comes to rink watching. If there's a couple of good games on next to you, you tend to have your attention diverted over there. Look, in between shots, keep your focus, keep in the game, because you'll learn off other people's bowls also, especially early on in the game. You'll see how other bowls are reacting. If someone plays a bit of pace down their hand and then kicks out, if you have to go and play the similar shot, you've got that in mind. You've got one up on them from the get-go.
Superb. Well, thanks for that, George. So I think, just to sum it up, it's a case of picking your hand, picking your shot, picking the point on the green, and then committing to the shot.
And being completely comfortable when you're on the mat, being comfortable with the shot that you've got, having no doubts and committing to it 100%.
That's perfect. George, thank you very much for doing this exclusive GXTV On the Mat series, and thanks very much for your time.
Pleasure. Cut!